Hi everyone, it's Lynn. I'm going to make a real cute Easter decoration today, or spring. So I took this metal bunny from the Dollar Tree and I laid it on top of a piece of denim and I traced it out and then I cut it out. And obviously you don't have to use denim for this. You can use any kind of fabric or scrapbook paper that you like. Next, I put some Mod Podge onto that metal bunny. I laid the fabric on top. I did smooth it out and then put another coat over the top of the fabric. But I'm going to suggest that you don't do this on metal. I came to realize that it doesn't really hold very well. It does kind of peel up a bit. So I think something like wood or cardboard that is a little bit more porous and can hold the Mod Podge would be a better option. When it was completely dry, I added some ribbon around its neck that I just wrapped around and glued onto the back. Next, I took a tiny little pocket. You know the little pocket on your jeans that's inside the bigger pocket on the right? I cut that out of an old pair of jeans. And I did leave the jean part on the back so I could glue the whole pocket down but still have an opening. I hope that makes sense the way I said it. And I just placed it right underneath that ribbon and in the center of the bunny. And then just to jazz up the pocket a little bit, I added a piece of lace across the top of it. And then over the top of that lace, I did add another piece of ribbon. I mean, I don't know if you can call it ribbon, but it was like a string of little daisies. And before I added any more embellishments to the front, I wanted to finish off the back. So I put some pink felt on it. And you have to be kind of quick with this if you're going to use hot glue because it does cool down real fast on that metal. So I did it in halves. And I still had to go in and add a little bit more glue. But I just laid it over the back and then cut out all of the excess. When I was done doing that, I did add some twine all the way around the outside edge of the bunny. I do this on so many of my projects. I just like a nice clean look all around the edges. And after I got all the twine put on there, and here's where I noticed that the fabric was starting to lift, like I mentioned earlier. So I went all around the edges with more hot glue just to hold the felt and the metal and the fabric together. Then I took the backing of a frame. This is just a 5x7 frame. And I placed it on the back of the bunny and I marked it so that I knew where to glue it. And then I did just that. I put hot glue all over the back of it and I placed it right onto the bunny. And then I did have to cut the two bottom corners off of it because they were showing on the front. And after I cut them off, I could see that there was some white showing through. So I just went in with a black magic marker and filled that in. Next thing I did was I started adding some small flowers into the pocket. And I just used like small little sprigs of lavender and some little daisies. And I think I got the lavender at Walmart and the daisies, I believe, came from the Dollar Tree. And I just kept fussing with it. I kept going back and forth, adding lavender, adding daisies, until I liked the way it looked. The next thing I did was add a little pom-pom for her cottontail. I added a little bow right between her ears, and then I made a tag. And I used this stamp roller that a friend of mine gave me. It's all different butterflies. Just rolled it over the ink pad, and then rolled it in two different directions on a strip of cardboard so I could pick out the ones I liked the best. And then I cut it into a small rectangle, and then I cut that into the shape of a tag, and then I added a little hole to the top. I added a piece of twine, and then I just tucked that twine into the pocket, and I added a little bit of hot glue to hold it into place. And then I did add a few pink flowers and I wrote the word spring on the tag. And how adorable is she? I love her. I think she is so sweet. And I hope you like her too. And I hope you give this one a try. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.